Hi, everybody. Welcome to my studio. You're in Wheaton, Maryland, down in the southern part of Montgomery County. And I call this studio Blue Moon Studio because it's in my house. When I came out of grad school in January 1999, my partner bought this house, and that was the month of a blue moon. And he closed in March, and we moved in, and that was a month of a blue moon. So you're in a basement, and I do a lot of different things in here. The main focus, of course, is printmaking. And when we got the house and we set up the studio, I bought a Takish press, which we'll check out in a little bit. All the crazy things I build, I do mostly in here. With my work, I do so many different things, and I use so many different materials. Like in this show, the paper dragon and the earth dragon with the wood and the crystals and the bone. So this is a station I use. You can see I'm set up with a little for sawing metal, and I have all kinds of, I have Dremels and saws and files and things in here. But part of how I make space for all of those different things too is that most of my equipment, except my press, is on wheels. Or if I need to get to my books and my other supplies that are on the bookshelves. Every space sort of does double duty, even under furniture. So under here, under my other desk, all my painting supplies and my leafing supplies are in these little carts that you can get anywhere. But then they roll back under, and I can still get my feet under the chair. When I do etchings, I use copper plates. You can't tell this is copper. It should look black in the film because it actually has the asphaltum ground that stops the acid. But in order to actually incise the plate, you have to put it in acid. Traditionally, the acid combination that was used was called Dutch mordant. It gives off chlorine gas. So when I moved into this studio, I chose not to do it, and I use ferric chloride, which is really a caustic salt. So the byproduct is basically rust that falls to the bottom. For years, I used a tray like this, which took up a lot of space and meant I didn't really have any way to cover it, so I had to put it away every time. Then I went to a vertical tank, and again, it's on wheels, so it hides away when I don't want it. But it rolls out, and you take the lid off, and you wear gloves, but then you can dunk the plate in, pull it out, and rinse it right in the sink. So, and ferric chloride lasts for a really long time and is easy to dispose of. So it solves a lot of environmental problems as well as space problems. When I fiddle around with jewelry or finer metals, I can use that same bath. So when I came out of grad school 20 years ago and we bought this house, you can't be a printmaker without a press, and that's the big investment for a printmaker studio-wise. I bought this press from a company called Takish, which is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I may be mistaken, but I think at least in the United States, they may be the only people still making presses. I bought this particular model. It's a pretty large press, but it comes off its base. And I bought it because they told me how I could take it apart. It weighs about 800 pounds. It came shrink wrapped, just as you see it now, on a pallet. The truck dropped the pallet in my driveway and said, "You're on your own." So we had to take it apart and get all our friends to help us move it down. It's when you etch, you use, these are actually wool blankets, but it's got this, where you get all the pressure is from the rollers that are adjustable, and you just, am I okay? You would put your plate on the surface with the blankets over it, and then you do a lot of cranking, which seems easy now because there's no pressure. But believe me, about the 20th time you do this in a day, you'll start to feel it in your back. But it's an awesome press, and if people are ever looking to buy a new press, I recommend Takish. It's really my pride and joy. So all of you who ever talk to me about my art know I tell you that I have boxes and boxes of natural objects, the majority of which I actually find in my travels and in my daily work, and they're all organized either by huge categories like earth, air, fire, or water, or for things that I have a lot of. I'll have a whole box of just one kind of thing. Like here I have a whole box of different kinds of turtle shells and in various degrees of decay or falling apart because, sometimes I find them pristine soon after the animal has passed away, and sometimes they've been in the woods for, ages and ages. So I have boxes of shells and rocks, and this one has wasps' nests in it and seeds, and then all the kind of glass and candlesticks and things that I pull apart for the little reliquaries. So this always overflows. What you can't see behind me is unorganized boxes that I haven't been able to fit on the shelves yet, but every 2 or 3 times a year in a fit of organizational frenzy, I'll clean things up. So they're always kind of here haunting me and inspiring me. A lot of the boxes I can see through them, and I can say, oh, that gives me an idea. I find all this natural stuff really beautiful. A lot of people look at a fox skull and think, oh, it's kind of gross. But I see the beauty in the structure and the textures and the color and just the life process of nature. So I'll just sit them around like precious objects.